National Speakers Heritage. Top tips for speakers. 4 founders and 17 New South Wales chapter presidents from 1988 to 2006. Enjoy.
Yvonne's top tip clips.
How did you get started in the speaking business?
Oh, Yvonne, let me see if I can remember back that far. I think it was first seeing Walter Dickman in action. I met Walter's son at a training program, and he said, gee, my dad does training. My dad is Walter Dickman. And I went, Walter Dickman, because even then he was very well known. And he said, yes, you should meet him. So through his son, David, I met Walter. Walter attended one of my training programs, and he said, if you work with me, I can help you. And I thought, well, how good is that? So I worked with Walter Dickman for some time.
Lighted a fire inside them. And once you light a fire inside a person, it takes a lot of putting out.
A top tip for speakers.
Persistence, then patience, and then practice. You really need to be good at what you do. I mean, marketing will take you so far, then you've got to be pretty good at it. You look at the speakers that are out there today, that have been out there a long time, they're good, and they work at it. So in the beginning, everything is a practice opportunity. If you open the fridge and the light goes on, you do 8 minutes to the cabbage. Do not miss an opportunity. Can you speak at the... Yes, I can. Yes. Would you be willing to... Yes, I would. And you do it.
My top tip is to become active in National Speakers Association. It has fast-tracked my career so much. The people that you meet, the contacts, the ideas, the honesty, it's just worth it. And of course, it is so much now an international community. And the opportunities as you grow as a speaker to meet with other speakers around the world and to become part of that international community is very, very exciting. And so whether it's at a state level, a national level or an international level, the National Speakers Association, I think, is one of the best organisations I've ever belonged to.
You've got to get your selling skills right and see it as a business and be prepared to stay in it for the long haul.
I would say integrity.
Yeah. Put your ego in your pocket. Remember that NSAA is your mates, not your market. You don't have to impress anybody, but if you want to, you'll impress them more by asking them questions and being open to learning from them, no matter who they are. Whether they're new to the association or whether they've been around for a long time. Everyone has something to share. The world is a classroom full of teachers if we're open enough and humble enough to learn. And I would say stay humble, stay open, stay learning, stay growing, and you'll be as magnificent as you can be every time.
So what's your one tip? You've probably already said it. There's got to be passion. Yeah.
Do what you are passionate about. Speak what you're passionate about.
This is another idea that came out of National Speakers. It was Martin Grunstein who first taught me about the importance of having a brag book, and I carry mine with me at all times. And
it's nice and thick.
It's nice and thick, and it's simply collecting testimonials. If someone says, "Thanks, Yvonne, you did a great job," then I'll ask them. I'll say, "Would you mind writing that down for me?" And it's the best selling tool I have. I simply go in talking to prospective clients, and I lay my book down in front of them. Now, my book begins with a testimonial from George Bush Sr.
If we're out to create change, well, we may be out to educate, and that's fine. But if we're out to motivate and create change, you only do that with passion. I don't think you do that with just information. Even if it's cleverly over PowerPointed, music-backed information, it still doesn't do it. But you can stand there with no notes, no PowerPoint, no music, no props, and a gobload of passion. Yeah. And you'll just get their hearts.
Here's two. One was from Amanda Gore, who I used to get a lot of backache when I spoke. She said, put your feet a foot apart and have them parallel. And I found that gave me a tremendous basis. Another one was from Dr. Norman Vincent Peale that I had some time with. And he just said, as simple as you'll never hit 100%. So look for the bright eyes, look for the people who are giving you the energy back, and that will give you the energy to carry on. That was a major one for me.
There's no getting around it. If you really want to be a professional speaker, you have to be able to sell yourself and to market yourself. And I would think that selling and marketing yourself first, and then keynote speaking presentation skills second.
Be consistent, professional in your presentation, If you're going to send out a letter, near enough is never good enough.
My top tip is to go deeply into this speaking career. Be as professional as you can be, but go in with depth. Do not be shallow.
Speaking about success, make sure that everything you do then mirrors around that as well.
I think a lot of speakers think that they are the ultimate. You know, if you don't have an audience, there's no need for a speaker. So I think you reverse the priority. In other words, the audience is the priority and the speaker becomes necessary then.
If you're passionate, do it. If you're doing it as a job, don't.
If we look at our lives and we look for, you know, what is the core truth of our lives, what is the wisdom that has come in our lives, that we've become wise because of our lives, and then sing that note, I don't think you can go wrong. And, you know, sometimes it might be to be silent and not to sing.
How did you get started in the speaking business?
Well, I actually met a previous legend, a New South Wales legend, which was Rob Salisbury, who's one of our past presidents as well, at a swap event. And he came up and had a chat with me and said, have you ever heard of national speakers? And I'd said no. And the next thing you know, I was at a meeting and I joined, and well,
yeah,
history.
The rest is history.
Yes, yeah, fantastic.
And Rob is a legend.
Yes.
Never lose sight of having fun with the people you work with. You know, there's moments to be serious about business, serious about economics, serious about your health, serious about our industry, and that has its place. But I think, you know, we're in the people business. Yeah. Dogs and cats and birds and spiders don't buy what we do. You know, people do. So
have fun.
Have a good time. It's a funny thing. When you're having a good time, people often ask you what you're up to.
Yes. it's like my thing is enjoy the journey.
Yes.
And it's that would be, if you like, if I had a top tip.
The audience is number one, the speaker number two.
My number one top tip would be to involve your significant other, spouse, partner, whomever, so that you can, in your presidency's mottos, words, enjoy the journey, but enjoy it together.
Always be willing to go back to the basics and learn more. And Jim Rohn would know. He's taught some amazing things over the years. But you know, I think the fine-tuning of his message that morning that I remember was this: don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. But I think for us, we've got to remember that we're in the business of performance. We're in the business of skill development, and we've got to work. We've got to work on ourselves as well before we go out there and work on others.
What do you wish you'd known then that you now know?
In the market itself, we always talk about what's popular or what we could be doing or what's a hot topic. And the reality is, it's not about the market; it's more about you. What about you is really unique? Where is it you deliver great value? And to be able to focus on the value that you actually deliver.
Research their audience to know what they do in detail, in some detail, and who they are and how experienced they are.
A tip for our viewing audience, what would be a tip?
Be where you are. So really be present. So when you're having preliminary meetings, you know, be there. When you're on the platform, be there. It's be in the moment. Just be in the moment.
Wow.
And people get it.
Yes.
Yeah. Be there for your audience. So it's not for you. It's actually for them. And the second one is enjoy.
As the grandfather of national speakers, how did you get started in the speaking business, Walter?
It would be the first time anyone has asked me that question.
I don't believe it.
And I need to consider my answer so that I tell the truth.
So what do you think of the speaking business?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
I wouldn't choose any other method of earning an honest living. I thought I'd put that word in there, just in case.
Honest, definitely. Now, how old are you these days? How old are you
These
now?
days, older than I was yesterday's. I'm getting very close to 90.
Very close to 90. Well, you're like a spring chicken, full of energy.
Glad you think so. I've spent the last 5 days in bed building it up.
Oh.
And if you believe that, I've got a harbour bridge I'll sell you cheap.
Now, if you light a fire under a person, then if they can run fast enough, they get away from it. But once you light it in them, the situation is very different.